There's the computer lady. All right, welcome back to the party. The
Yes.
self-proclaimed unlucky bunch split in half ish last time. Two locations. One set of folks um, trying to sneak into. They skipped the festivities of the party. They're trying to sneak into the part where they try to climb up on the docks at the end of town. Um, Jumping up onto the docks proved to be a little more of a challenge, given the magical water defenses around the area. Um, but they all made it to land. And while that all was going on, uh, two of the party, one pair, was headed off to a grand party, the Selection Eve gathering in one of the wealthiest districts in Lithia. Selection Eve being the night before the wizard schools of Lithia have their challenge day, where various students endeavor to get selected to those particular schools. So at the party, invited by name, Elsbeth and her escort. So we had made it past the guards last time, and now we're headed to the party. And just as you're headed across the blue carpet, and you do have to take a moment, because they have somebody, they have a bard of sorts who's actually playing the organ. Like, the music, it's actually organ music, which is just one of those insanely, like, why would you have this massive organ here? But that's one of those wealthy person kind of feeling, like, no, we can afford to have that here. That's what we're going to do for our party tonight.
Is the
Nice.
bard any good? I don't remember.
Yeah, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, all things considered, like, playing this massive pipe organ, really pulling it off, considering you have to be cognizant of the tone, because it's supposed to be a party, not a dirge or a Halloween thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's doing quite well. So clearly, you perceive there are three particular young ladies who are headed your direction. There are a number of other people who are scattered about this room and the other rooms beyond. Your escort has already headed out, checking the lay of the land.
Yep.
How would you like to move forward from here?
I feel like um I should move away from the entrance just so I'm not blocking any other attendees who might be coming or deciding they're fed up with everything and leaving, whichever the case may be. So I think I'm gonna move, especially because it looks like I am being approached. So I'm gonna move, in, you know, a sort of space where it's like, hey, it's clear someone's approaching me. I might as well say hello. That's the polite thing to do.
You are absolutely correct. They immediately
Yikes.
move to a semicircle in front of you, sort of pinning you into the corner kind of a thing, which, that's one of those, you're like, oh, really? This is where we're starting with the whole we're going to pin you into a corner thing. It's considered petty tactics, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
hmm They're establishing they are superior, whether they actually are or not.
Bingo. And all of this stuff is really starting to churn. You're like, oh,
Yep,
here we go
here we go.
again. So the first one, rather than doing the appropriate or specific introductory thing that you would expect, turns and says, "Oh, look, Farella, someone from the nation across the way has decided to pop in." So that was
Which one
the
is Frelia?
so that was the girl who said it is this
Yeah.
one,
All right.
right?
Yep.
She was
Okay.
looking to let me see if I can name them. I don't know if you'll be able to see the name.
I have a note card in front of me in case I can't.
Party girl, party girl.
Ooh, that's really small.
It is really small.
Armida.
Yes. She was looking toward oops. Hey, let's not do that. Ugh. Screwed that up. See, this would be so much better if I was actually in charge of my ability to do this stuff. There we go. There's one, there's two.
It's the Corella, the purple.
In
Oh, no,
and there we go.
Greta.
So Barella turns and gives you the well, at least you bothered to dress. Meanwhile, the one in green says, I suppose if you call that a dress, and I suppose you think that you're just going to stroll around here and figure out a way to get accepted tomorrow.
Are you participating in the selection tomorrow?
Well, that's what this party is about. And the first one says, you really aren't very particularly clever, are you?
I'm going to do a quick check with the site. How strong of magic aura do they have?
So you would actually you would look just a little bit. You'd have that moment of like, that sort of like you drift just a moment during the conversation,
Yeah.
just so that you know, because she just called you stupid and you're about to look like you glazed over for a second.
Okay.
So you do that. Armida, there's a reason she's going to school. Like cantrips. And Farella, same, about that same level. The girl in green,
Yeah.
Greta, nothing. Like, no, like you're like,
Dundon
really?
has more magic than you.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah. But as you turn, you can see, like, through the shimmer of the sight, you could just see how angry she is. She's just mean, just angry. So the girl in purple immediately is like, wow, are you here?
Far more than you. I suppose I should act like a proper lady should. Good, respectful, courtesy. Elspeth and Osa.
I'm getting weird feedback. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard it too.
It's okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me losing my mind. So they do their introductions around Armida, Farella, Greta. We're here at the request of the Toronto family. Flavia is our bestest friend. Roll a 20-sider for me just to see, because you do have that kind of level of knowledge of noble family kind of heraldry.
Would this be a history check?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. Only a 9. Unfortunately, we're rolling shit tonight.
That's okay. You kind of get this sense like you're like, I should probably know who the Toronto family is.
I know the name of the Toronto family. I've also been busy lately.
Right. So Greta starts with, fine. So you have some level of ability to not be a rube. So tell us, what school is it that you think you're going to get into? We've heard.
I like keeping my options open.
Perella says, as if there's any school that would take the likes of you. You don't even know what they all are. You don't. And Armida says, you don't even know who's here tonight.
Well, I admit I am sort of new in town, but it's lovely getting to meet some of the hang on. Give me a second to think of the wording right, because I'm going to backhandedly insult them. I just gotta make sure I word it right.
I'm just looking for the actual competition.
So they specifically said it was I don't even know who's here tonight.
Yes.
You're right. I am. I admit I am new in town, but it's good to get some of the earlier formalities out of the way for those who might barely know them. I'm not phrasing it perfectly, but it's like I've never been at a hoity-toity event personally, so please bear with me, GM.
That's okay. Dundon, as you're hanging out back there,
Yeah.
this like tall, blonde, like super expensive dress looking just blows by you like you're not even there. Pays no attention to you whatsoever.
Perfect.
Straight up to the group. Ladies, who have we found? And they all just sort of stop. And you could tell that this is sort of their person who's like in charge of their little clique.
Yeah.
The queen bee.
Yeah, I was wondering where the queen bee was if I was already looking at her yet, but I didn't think so based on their relative strength.
And as they're all sort of dumbfounded, she just pushes between them to you and does the appropriate greeting. Hello, welcome to my party. I am Flavia Toronto, and I have not met you yet. Who do I have
Un-
the pleasure of talking with?
Um, Curtsy, it's Elspeth and Osa. I admit I am very recently in town.
Oh, yes, of course. The Enosa family. Girls, really? We've heard. She actually steps back and sort of allows the space to become more of a little group again, and they immediately
Mm.
step back a little bit, and she's like, "Tell us. We've heard that of struggles with various schools of wizardry, if you will, from your country. Wasn't there some sort of struggle with learning how to be a wizard?"
All right. Pausing just for a sec.
Sure.
Were there? I know I was privately tutored. Were there official schools in Trocall? I don't remember.
There may have been, but you were specifically kept away from all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And because of the backstory pieces that you gave me,
Yeah.
that particular guy
Yeah.
is exactly the sort of person that would make waves and come to a place like this and start spouting about various things
Mm.
because he's endeavoring to jump that position up. So he is exactly the sort of person that would push that sort of rumor out just to see where it would go.
Mhm.
And extra because of all the stuff that's in there about why you did what you did, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Right. So it is pretty clear that there's a certain segment of the nobility that is just pushing out all of this garbage about how wizard schools are failing and they're just not doing well and these students are trash, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Therefore, they are presuming that you're here to crash their school, which is why you're at their party the night before acceptance day.
Yeah. I can't say that I've heard of any real troubles from the wizard school's perspective. I do know of one man who claimed more than he thought he was.
Oh, and who might that be?
I believe he went his name was Kulo.
Give me a uh whatever the hell amounts to perception at this point.
Would be perception, or is this an insight check? I
Go
don't
for it.
For other people, it's an insight.
Yeah, go for insight.
Yep. Only a 10.
Okay. Yeah. There seems to be something, there's just a little hitch in there. But you're kind of not getting it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, Flavia's like, well, of course there are excellent schools here. I mean, none better than the Eternal Garden. And that is where I intend to land.
Quick question for you, GM, because
Yes.
I did look into at least a little about these schools before this.
Yes. So you would know there are actually 5 total. And you don't have to write them down right now. I can give them to you.
Yeah.
But Eternal Garden, very green oriented, a lot of they basically they do a lot of redirect of the weave. They don't harm it or break it or anything like that. They're trying to keep everything intact.
Hmm.
Very deeply a la Golden Circle.
Yes.
Circle of Clarity, which seems to be a pretty clear, straightforward wizarding type school.
Yeah.
Mystic Chalice, which is very close to like tea leaves and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Then there's Trinity, which you got no real kind of read on.
All right.
And then there's the one school that you were like, oh, that doesn't sound like a great school at all. Called Spirit of Power.
That was it. Yeah. I knew it was something like that.
And those are all basically physical adepts. They use their bodies as well as the magic. Sort of almost like spellcasting monk types.
Yeah.
They have a tendency to pound each other as part of training, as
Yep.
much as they do spellcasting.
Which isn't a terrible idea from a meta perspective, but I'm just tissue paper and sadness.
Honestly, none of these girls look like they could handle more than you. And give me a perception, see if it's any better.
Ooh, I like that number already. Perception is a 16.
Okay. So as you're kind of looking them over, and this is one of those where they've pointed out that they've pointed out your outfit kind of thing, and you're already got that little hint of self-conscious moment.
Yeah.
So you're kind of looking them over, and you realize that your hands, because of all of the stuff that you've done, spell casting, you've been out adventuring, climbing on shit, getting in the mud, all that kind of stuff, your hands do not look delicate, like wilted flower kind of hands that they have. And as you're looking at them, the only one that stands out is Flavia, because you can see that despite best efforts, there's still hints of ink around a couple of her fingertips. Other than that, the rest of them, you could knock them over with a feather.
Yeah.
You could.
What was that last one? That was that last one?
You could knock them over with a feather.
Yeah.
Really. Like, you're looking at them like, God, how do you expect to survive?
Live.
Well, perhaps you'd like to mingle. We could allow you to wander about. There are some folks here I'm sure that you would like to meet, and others I'm certain would like to meet you.
Hmm.
I have no doubt.
Like punch.
Dundon just keeps creeping closer,
Yep.
like, how many of these do I have to punch before we can get out?
Well, it's just the veiled some people who would like to meet you.
Oh,
Sure. Let's go meet them.
where's the nearest dumpster?
Yeah.
I want to take another moment to get a read on Flavia's magical affinity, because it's clear she's putting at least some work in.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much.
You do a little slip for the sight thing.
Yep.
The bard has more power, but
wow.
Flavia is the strongest of that little group.
Okay.
Again, bar built into the floor, not a high threshold.
But they are also, you realize they're also all really young.
True.
And if they're applying to get into school, the implication there is they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yes.
So, are there any other specific things you want to address to them, or do you want to kind of wait and try to float around and get some more information from other people?
Um,
You want to hit the
I am.
bar?
Maybe not quite yet. I'm trying to decide if they're the sort of people I should ask, because I've never seen one of these test days, these challenge days. So I'm trying to decide if broaching the concept with them or with someone else here is a better play.
Conceivably, you could do it with them.
Yeah.
Possibly listen in to other people.
I think I'm gonna start with them. It's like, and I know Eternal Garden's like one of the higher ranked, or at least higher considered ones, which is what Flavia's going for.
Yeah. Well, yes.
That's what she's
Um,
aiming for, yeah.
She's so there's also, this is one of those things that there's also a financial aspect to this and a political aspect to this.
Yeah.
Whose school is getting the contribution?
Mhm.
Who's appearing to be with whom? All of those sort of things.
Going
Yeah.
to the Harvard of magic.
Yeah, only you're not so sure.
Only Harvard will actually say no if you suck.
Not if you have enough money.
Eh,
True.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is your parents' name on one of the buildings? You're in. I don't give a shit if you've got a. We're not looking at that GPA.
D is for degree.
He's a legacy from Harrisburg.
Ooh.
That is a great obscure reference. Thank you, sir.
yeah, I think I'm gonna float for a bit. Because a clique like this will still stay relatively near each other.
Absolutely.
Queen
So,
Bee will mingle with others, but the peons
oh yes.
will definitely stay close.
So I'm not going to do a ton of specific interactions.
Yeah.
Are you trying specifically to listen in as you're going through different party things? Are you trying just to get a general sense of stuff? What's your
Some from column A, some from column B. I understand my presence here is a good opportunity to network, even if I don't intend on making use of connections. But also I'm trying to keep an ear out for specifics, because I know the book they're after is magically significant, I believe. The other team's going for that magically specific book. So magic party, magic book, someone might be talking.
right? Okay. Do me a favor, give me an investigate roll.
Investigation. Okay.
And because this is your kind of environment, I'll give you a +2 because you're like, oh, I know how these people work.
Yep. Oh, 24.
Ooh. All right, do me a favor. I'm gonna give you the opportunity. Roll a 10-sider. Give me 2 numbers.
So roll 10-sider twice.
Yep.
3 and 8.
Okay. I swear to you, I wrote this on the page. As you're going around and you're listening to various conversations, just sort of having that, like you've got that sense.
Yeah.
You hear Greta, the one in green, who has 0 talent, absolutely going on and 110% buying in to this story about there's going to be a bread shortage in Lithia. And she is all in. She's
Oh
talking
no.
about, she's talking about how do we have to invest, where does the grain come across the bridge, like she's hook, line, and sinker. She thinks she's gonna run out of bread.
I'm gonna smile a little bit and keep going.
As an aside, the fact that Thea's nonsense has ripples long standing outside of our community, excellent.
Uh-huh.
The bread shortage is gonna last forever. I want you to know this.
Legacy.
But one of the other things that you're just sort of like this surface tension in here. There's all these people who are very, very concerned with selection day and the process, and everybody comes up into the selection area to demonstrate their power, and they're like there's this subtle underneath. You hear one or two people like, these magic schools, what's going to happen is they're going to gather all of the strongest, and they're going to rise up and take over the government of Lithia. There's a power move here. There's an infiltration that they're going to get the best wizards. They're going to get the people who have the real power, because we know there's a power vacuum here ever since that silly spire got blown up. So there's just that subtle thing, and you picked that out in particular. Someone was like, well, ever since that silly spire got blown up. Which, ding, 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 Spire Society.
Yeah.
So there is at least an awareness of that sort of thing going on. And as you are wandering, you notice that I am not particularly clever. I was just trying to move icons on the shared screen, not on my screen. I'm like clicking on the shared video going, why won't this move?
And that's why I messed with my screen, so my owlbear was priority.
Yep. As you're moving through the party, you do notice these two particular women tend to stick together. And you actually think you might recognize the lady in the purple dress. You believe that is Lady Toronto, the host of the party. And the person that she is with does actually have the mystic mark on her forehead. She's wearing description. Where did it go? She's wearing a long green flowing gown with a deeper green sash across it, and it has a trifold leaf as an emblem.
Eternal Garden, I presume.
You got it. That is definitely an Eternal Garden person, and if you had to guess, it's only a high-ranking Eternal Garden person who's going to be hanging out with the hostess of the party. And yes, people do that. As soon as they see them come out, people basically flock around them. So you do see that there is some level above Mean Girls hanging out here at the party.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we're at a decent part here.
Yeah, if we want to flip directions, yeah.
So we can flip to the other team, Team Stealth, who is trying to sneak in.
Damn, we are trying to sneak in Meanwhile, on the internal playlist of music, it's just Space Jams. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh,
My question to Team Stealthy,
Uh-huh.
last time
Mm-hmm.
you had made it onto the docks.
Correct.
You had said you were going to head to the house that the previous team had rented. Was that correct?
We wanted to check there to see if there was any kind of clues or information or resources we could find.
Okay. So let us
I just say we want to pillage.
Little more subtlety.
hold your breath. Here we go. New screen.
Yay!
Boom. All right. And where have you gone? Where are you folks?
Technical difficulties. Let's get ready to rumble.
All right. So before we get too far away from said docks, I'm going to put you guys over here at the edge, because one of the things that we had previously,
You're missing Iadu.
exactly,
Oh.
Yadu hit on the boat.
Yadu jumped into that boat and was hiding out separate from you all. So
Gotta connect with Yadu.
first thing, are you attempting to just stroll down the street, or are you attempting to stick to the shadows?
Stick to the shadows. We're unlucky, not stupid.
Thea wants to investigate. Does she is it calm out there? Are people looking for anything? Is it
There
what's
are
the vibe?
constant guard patrols. You can see them in various directions. So I
We
need
gotta-
you both to make me a roll
Hmm.
for stealth.
Stealth.
Yay.
Woohoo! Unnatural 20.
Did you say natural or unnatural?
Unnatural.
Okay.
Ooh, good.
Dirty 20 is another term, is that's easier to differentiate from a crit.
Thank you.
Oh, Jesus.
17.
Okay. You manage to duck into the shadows. It does not appear that you have brought any particular notice. You do hear a little bit of jangling as there seems to be a guard patrol running down the dock from a little distance away. But I'm going to say if you wanted to head deeper in away from the docks, that you can do that.
Oh, we can't really bail on Yadu.
So
Now,
that's
are
where
they
we go
running
next.
down the dock towards Iadu or away from Iadu? Which is he at the same dock?
You were really busy flailing around in the water. You don't know where he went.
Oh, okay.
You don't know which direction he went.
So, better question. Are they on the way towards where we were?
Yes.
Okay. And I knew that Iadu went further down because I wasn't flailing around in the water. Okay. Ah, shit. All right. We need to stay here for a moment and wait until. Yeah, let's just hide in this little alleyway here for the minute.
Okay, so what is it that Yadu wants to do as he's parked himself under a boat tarp?
You are muted.
Even Fancy Lady told me that. So I saw the two of them go off, so I know what direction they're headed. And then I'm hunkered down. I hear noise. Is that fair? Or should I give you a listen check?
Sure, give me a listen just to see if you can get more specifics.
Perception.
Okay. Yep, 11.
No, you don't really get anything specific, but it does sound like somebody is coming to check out where you just were.
Okay. So as I listen, I want them to get by me to where they would be checking on the actual dock where the disturbance took place. Do they continue on past the boat I'm in?
Give me another listen check.
13.
you can't be exactly certain. It sounds like they've spread out.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not sure if they're past you or still around you, or but you definitely hear they're talking. And there were some other essentially dock hands and folks like that are sort of out around the area, that you
Yeah,
can hear them sort of doing the whole, hey, did you see anything down here? We had,
Mm-hmm.
something might be going on, whatever. You could kind of hear that, but it fades in and out, as sometimes it's close to you, sometimes it's not. So it's very hard to tell from where you're at. You're not getting a good read on this.
Okay. Sigh.
Give me one more listen.
16.
Progressively better.
You do hear two voices not far enough away to make you feel very comfortable at all. One of them says, well, the ward's definitely been set off. The other one says, well, we're gonna have to get somebody down here. Should we leave someone? Definitely. Matter of fact, let's leave 3. Get the trio. You and I will go back. And they move away.
As they move away, venture to peek out and see where they're headed and see if I can basically, does it look like I can shadow them out before they go get the 3?
It's gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to sort of do the whole like dart across the street into the shadows kind of a thing.
Exactly.
So if that's what you want to do, give it a roll. Give me two stealth rolls for noise and for visual.
Okay. So visual, I have advantage. Sound, I don't.
Okay.
All right. So that's 17 for the visual.
Okay.
And 15 for sound.
You managed to get out from under the cover of the boat, plop down onto because you are still a little squishy.
Mm-hmm.
So the real thing that bugs you is the little bit of squish in the footsteps. Otherwise, you ghost into a shadow and you can just cruise along, and you are actually headed directly back to where Thea and Azathan turned the corner and headed up the street.
All right. Once I get there, at least out of the sight of the people I was trying to avoid, stop, run my hands very carefully over my outfit to get as much water off as I can. Since I don't have prestidigitation, this is the best you get.
Just got to meet up real quick, and then we
Yeah.
can.
It's a few seconds to do that, just so that if somebody sees me, they're not seeing me drip.
Yep.
And then I make off.
Cool.
Straight down that road, assuming they'll find me at this point.
Yeah, and you guys do. You see him come around the corner.
Thea's gonna throw a pebble at him.
The traditional symbol for "hey, over here."
Mm-hmm.
We need a subtle side.
One concussion later.
I said
Throw
a
a
pebble.
rock.
I didn't say a rock.
It's all right. I don't have the strength for a rock.
Whoops, you nat 20.
It was an angry.
Congrats,
pebble.
you're actually a hobbit.
Yeah, went right through your ear and out the other ear.
They don't call him One Eye for no reason at all.
Uh,
So
Carl.
there are basically late evening things that are happening around. You can like city type noises, people moving things, stuff like that. But just down this street and around the corner, you can see the entry stair to the front of the rental property.
Mhm.
And you can see that there is an alley that goes around the back. And there are some windows on this floor. However, the traditional B&E process of smashing through a window would be particularly noticeable here.
Mhm.
Yes. That's why we pick a second floor window, confuse everyone.
Oh, where's a bird? You have a
No,
bird laying on the ground, and then it'd be like, oh, the bird hit the window.
just find a random bird, break its neck, set it down at the bottom of the window. How many affronts to nature is that? Yes. No, we're not breaking a window. We have more subtlety than that.
Do you?
We aspire to have more subtlety than that.
Perfect.
Holden always makes the charisma save.
Listen, always.
Is
Um,
there a chimney like with these houses?
we're not gonna Santa Claus this shit, I swear.
Yes, there are a lot of chimneys, there are a lot of rooftop type things going on, but most of these places are 2 or 3 stories tall. It would take an effort to get up there.
Can
And
we see any activity in that house with like those chimneys or anything?
so other houses, yes. This particular one, it doesn't look super active right now.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, it looks dark. There are no lights on inside, but you do see, like others seem to have candles, lanterns, things like that. This house does not seem to have that. At least not on this floor. You are ground floor. There is a floor above. It does seem to have a couple of candles, but it doesn't seem to have a lot of activity.
All right, you guys call the ball.
I can't remember. Were we given keys or anything for this, or just the location?
Just the location, it's all they knew.
You see me hold up thieves' tools.
We can either go in manually. I could slip under the door.
Mm-hmm.
We have options.
Right.
I could open the door.
That's right.
Mhm.
You have thieves' tools?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we have 2 sets of thieves' tools.
Yep.
Excellent. I think we should also check around the back before we go breaking into any places.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wellness check. It's not breaking in.
Only
if you're a cop.
That's awesome.
It's a private wellness check. I love it. All right, cool. I'm so glad I'm so glad one of us at least has the charisma for that. I hope one of us has the charisma for that, because it's not me. It's a wellness check, says the weird gaunt man who's just kind of surrounded.
Surrounded by very illness-inducing mushrooms.
Yeah, wellness check. It's fine. Don't worry about grandma. It's fine.
Carrying a gong, shouting, "Bring out your dead."
Wow. Not to put too fine a point on it.
Listen, grandma's not going to worry about feeding the local children. She's feeding mushrooms. It's all right. We're good.
Wow. All right, so you're gonna go to peek in the back.
Reverse
Yeah,
hustle
down
and
the
shuttle.
alley.
All right, so Thea, as you head over there, you see the alley has a little archway over it, and there's some stairs back there that actually lead all the way up to a second floor door. It's like this is a split apartment. There's an upstairs level that goes in and out this way, and the downstairs level, which is on the front side.
Mm.
So which side was rented?
Front side, first floor is
Okay.
what the information that you had.
Okay, perfect. Well,
Can
that
we
just
still
means
go peek?
no, we are here for what we need, and that's it. Let's open this front door. We're just having some trouble with keys.
Okay. So as you get up there, I need you to make first of all, make a stealth check for me.
And I'm still hanging back at the corner watching all directions to see if anybody sounds the alarm.
I got an 18.
Man, I'm so glad you're fucking subtle because I am not. That is an 8.
Okay. Thea, give me a roll to pick that lock.
Don't worry, I'm a distraction.
Azathan, give me a perception.
I got a 19.
You're like,
Perce-
you look at the lock and you go, I do have a key. Duh. Plonk. Stupid lock.
That's a dirty 20.
Ooh,
You
very nice.
realize that you absolutely caught somebody's eye.
Yeah.
And just as you're like, oh crap, Thea's like, duh, stupid lock, chunk, and the door opens. And the person, as soon as that happens, that person just turns and walks away.
Yep.
All right.
Good work, Thea. Oop, I need to zoom back in on the action.
Are you gonna pop it and go in?
Yep.
You find the other team dead on the floor.
Boom.
Well,
So
Jesus, with that rug, I'm not far off.
The peasants are revolting. I know. Have you seen the way they dress?
Have you seen their interior decor? Of course.
they use antlers in all of their decorating.
Have you considered moss?
I live in a cave. Of course I've considered moss.
Deeply on a spiritual level.
I relate. I too want to not go to any places and live in damp, dark spaces.
So you see this is basically the entry area. This rug has definitely got some serious been here too long, torn it up kind of vibes, but it's not, I mean it's bad, but it's not really. If this were in any other part of town, this would be fine.
It's not the grungiest place we've been.
It's the
That's
fact that it's
fucking
in the
true.
richest district in the city
Mm-hmm.
that it has crap carpet, and you're like,
This is
What's up with
someone's
this
Airbnb.
Yeah, and the
Pretty much.
green that I'm seeing here, is that the floor underneath going through holes?
There's green there.
Right
I
at
was
the
just
entryway,
wondering that.
there's like a corner tucked back.
All of the patterns of the holes and the patterns in the red carpet.
shit, I didn't even think about it, Holden. My fault.
You're good.
Yeah,
It-
we're just going with it. We
Yep.
understand because colorblind. Yes.
So there's another older carpet underneath it that they did that whole. We'll just put this one over the top,
Okay.
Okay.
and the one underneath, you're like, ooh, that looks worse.
Somehow that is worse than the one that's destroyed. Yes.
Yeah. So basically, they're putting a tarp to hide the ugly. Okay.
I didn't even think about it. It's red and green.
Oh
it's a-
shit! Yeah.
It's a screwed up carpet, Holden. Sorry.
You're good. My color blindness is the joke that keeps on giving.
Because we keep forgetting it's there.
All right.
I didn't think of that.
So it's a solid hardwood floor. Looking a little dirty, a little worn, but definitely not. I mean, this is, as you say, it's basically the Airbnb kind of vibe, right?
Yes.
All right. I come up behind Thea. I'll lead.
Oh, you leading?
Yep.
Yeah.
If
They
we need somebody-
definitely use antlers in all their decorating here. It looks like it's a trend. As you get up to the corner, you look around, you could see from your vantage to your right, or
Stage
Wait.
left.
yes, screen left, your right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little corridor back. You can't quite see what it ends in. There's a little table in front of the window. There are a set of stairs leading up there. It looks like that should go to the second floor, but it looks like it's been completely closed off. It is open. Is that my mouse or is that someone else's mouse?
Which one?
It's got to be yours. Yep, that's you. So, to Yadu's left, there's actually a other left.
Wait, this is right.
Yeah, there's actually a door there, next to that little. That's like a little sit there to take your boots off kind of a thing.
Right here.
And
No, that
No,
over here.
That's a desk.
Oh,
I mean, you
here?
can take your boots off on a desk.
All right, so if you move around over there, you
Before
I wasn't
we go-
necessarily meaning to
Boom.
move. I was just trying to make sure I was where
Oh.
you were.
Holy shit!
Soup's on.
Before we go around there and see that, I'm gonna close and lock the door behind us.
okay.
Holy shit!
That ain't no ironing board.
That man's left the iron all over the floor. What do you mean?
So
How long does this body look like it's been dead?
there's a whole lot of bone and not a whole lot of meat. However,
All right, so either
something looks off. Azathan, give me a roll.
what kind of roll?
I don't know what would be connected with your necrotic stuff.
That would be Arcana in this case.
Give me an arcana.
You could also argue nature for decomposition.
True, either or.
I'll give you a +2 if you've got both.
I do indeed have both. So
Synergy.
all right, so I'll take that plus. So I'm rolling with a +7 to that. And that is a 25.
You see, number one, food on the table, decomposition. You're like, oh, this has been here a while, but it's not been so long.
That is unnaturally decomposed.
Right. And the skull has a little bit of a blue tint to it.
Oh, not those electric things again. Remember the zombie guy?
Hmm.
Ugh, with those little electric little rodents that you wouldn't let me keep as a pet.
And still will not, thank you.
I wonder why.
Shocking, I know.
Oh, boo.
Hey, he strengthens the owner.
Get out.
It would be for the benefit of the group.
No.
It
No.
would be fun. It would be
Yes.
fun.
Yes. Agreed. But no.
The blue tint says to you, Azathan, that something is off about that particular corpse.
Don't touch it or loot it. Don't touch it or its pockets.
There are no pockets.
I know, but that doesn't stop Thea.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, she'd sew pockets on it just to go through its pockets.
We all distinctly remember the initial our
Oh God, that's right. The Temple of the Willing. She's
Yep.
crawling through bones.
uh-huh.
Oh, what's under here?
Everyone else is fighting, and she's like,
We
She's
all
got
remember
spare
that.
pockets. She just throws them down on the bodies to look through them.
That's Thea's equivalent of, well, he had a gun.
Wow, hashtag drop piece.
Is there anything in like these shelves or whatever these things like down here are?
Absolutely. Those are lots of bottles of wine and other drinks. There's standard, like at the buffet part to the other end opposite the corpse is like your typical plates, servingware kind of thing. Okay, so as then you've moved up so that you can see into that other room.
Yep. Oh, that's just an open space. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just an opening. There's no door there. Yadu is standing in front of a door.
Okay.
But
I'm
there's
gonna-
an open space there. Are you going to move up so that you can look in, or are you moving to look at
The first thing I'm moving to is like right around here
Okay.
to like investigate the body.
You're going to be able to see all the way into the other room.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a lot less horrifying than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And this is a window right here, right?
Indeed, it is.
And nobody bothered to look into the window and see a corpse?
Nope.
Are there like curtains over the window?
They're not closed.
I would like to close them.
Good choice. You've cut off your light.
That's fine.
I think
Uh,
everyone there has dark vision.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, once the
Sanziano.
door-
Once I see him do that, I'll do it here.
Yep. Close the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Thea's gonna check in this room.
Okay.
Close those windows.
You walk in there.
Need to be careful and mindful of a setup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And a blue floating person appears and looks at you and starts to float your direction.
Shit.
Thea's gonna put a hand up and say, I don't like people in my personal space. Celestial or not.
I'm gonna.
Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. I need you to
Oh,
roll
shit.
I need you to roll a 20-sider. Give me a charisma check.
Persuasion.
Sweet.
Oh, I'm so lucky. Thank God, because charisma is not my strong suit. Oh, I got a 19 plus. What is my charisma? Can't be high.
We like the confidence there.
Woohoo! Dirty 20.
Nice.
The floating individual in front of you, let's just say what it is. The ghost. The ghost stops. Puts his hands out like this. And gestures towards the couch and the table.
I think it wants us to. Hold on. Yadu.
Thea sits.
Yadu. Don't go stabbing. So far, hasn't been hostile. I think. One moment. I have a ridiculously long fucking spell list I need to look at here real quick. Do I have?
And remember, summon plot points, a 4th level spell.
Really? Only fourth?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't
second
have.
level.
I don't have Speak with Dead. Tragic. All right, I'm gonna go and take
Thea.
a seat next to Thea.
Actually, both of you give me a perception.
Oh, good.
Let's see. It's a 14 plus my perception.
Dirty 20. Perception is
19.
something I'm really good at.
Wait, no. Yeah, no. That's a 14. 6. That's 20. Dirty 22.
All right, so I'm going to drop a little something into chat over on our channel.
On the Discord.
That
Ooh.
is sitting on the table. That little white square is that.
Is that blood splatter?
No. Well, maybe. Could be coffee. Could be wine. Could be blood.
Could be gravy.
Could be gravy. You're not real sure.
I'm gonna reach down and take the paper.
Okay.
Thea's gonna ask the ghost, are you a part of this?
Give me another charisma check.
Oh. Oh, that's not good. That's a 5.
You hear in your head, I am. And the ghost holds up 2 fingers.
What happened to the others on your team? And what happened to you?
You hear in your head, the others wanted my cut.
So they cut you.
Now they're all gone too.
Hmm.
Where did they go?
And he had 2 before. After that one, he had a finger up for 1.
Hmm.
And what was your last question?
Hold on. Okay. I see what this is.
It was where did they go?
Look over at Thea. So we have, hold on. Andy, Miyadu. We have 1 question left. So what we know is that this is one of the other team. The other 2 killed him to get his cut. Do we really need to know where the other 2 went or what happened to them? Or what do we think?
Or do we want to take a wild hair and, given the way the beneath the house looks, assume the book or ask if the book is there?
I think that would be important. Any thoughts?
I gave my 2 pennies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask him if he's laid eyes on the book.
Because then we won't know where.
Mm.
Where matters.
Is the book still beneath the house?
Have you seen the? Yeah. Do you believe the book is beneath the house? That's probably the best we're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ask him that?
Yeah.
And you hear, it's still there. As he points and puts his hand down on the map.
Mm-hmm.
So are they.
Mm-hmm.
Klaatu. And he fades away.
Varaniktu. Okay.
Could you imagine being so angry after death that you stayed around just to throw your 2 teammates back under the bus?
The blue of the skull fades away.
That's amazing.
Dedication.
And since you're asking, I wake up that way every morning. In complete deadpan.
So is there anything about is there any way to identify who this was so we can take this back to Mouse?
No, there's really nothing there.
We'd be able to describe the person we saw, though.
Yes.
True. What depiction did orcish or
Human.
human?
There's really only humans on this island.
Got it. So human.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that guy was angry enough he stuck around.
Give Thea, you're still poking around in there? I see you moving around.
Yes.
Give me another search.
That would be a 25.
Hell yeah.
As you're standing there, you go through, and those books, they don't mean anything to you, but you're like, oh, I bet this would give Elsbeth a headache. They're sorted by color. All of those books are straight up decoration. There is
Ugh.
there's not a useful thing in there. They're all completely useless. It is literally decor.
Decorative books.
Now, with that decor, is there any? Can I do an investigation check to see if there's any?
But as you're looking around and you sort of do a little spin because you're like, oh, this is, even to me, this is terrible. You realize that the window on the corner looks straight across to the mansion that you're trying to go to. They rented this out on purpose. They have a line just down that street, just between those two buildings, right down that way. It's a direct line. No, you had it right. That way. Straight out there, that you could see straight across that diagonal to where that mansion is. So they were observing from a completely safe and secure spot right here. And you're not sure how they got a map of the inside, but this looks like a pretty detailed map. And you can see that building, the Bertini mansion is actually stands out among wealthy mansions. It's 3 stories tall. It has a round tower on the corner opposite from you that goes high enough that it's just above the 3rd floor, and
That's impressive.
It's all black stone.
So,
with tasteful gray accent.
because rich people got a rich people.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna look at this map. Is it just so it looks like there's a ritual space in the basement, and then in the sub basement another ritual space. And
Fun,
I'm gonna guess. I want to know how they got the map of the. You know what? Maybe it's better. I don't know. Maybe they used a familiar or something.
Or maybe they made a friend, like I did.
None of your friends have been that useful to us as of yet. They've been useful to you, not to
Fair.
the rest of us.
I'll aim to go better one day.
Please don't make more pacts. Oh gods.
Thea looks at Iyadu and says, I'll refrain.
Okay. So we have a map of the layout. The book. The ghost had pointed to that. Like, did he point specifically to like the beneath the house section?
No, he just pointed to the map itself.
Okay. So we know the book is still inside. Oh, I'm sorry. It's still inside the house. Do we want to bet that it's down below in the ritual space? Or that it's somewhere up on the 2nd or 3rd floors in a private room?
I was going ritual space, given that they wouldn't want it to have free roam of the house.
I can agree with that.
And remembering, like, the Temple of the Willing, their little safe was built into the wall there. That was their hideaway spot, was in the main altar room.
True. There's rich people.
Yeah, but there was also the hidden space behind the bed.
True.
At least based on this map, there shouldn't be that much hidden space. That said, we may need to just. They're all gone, right?
We don't know.
We don't know how many are gone. We know some of them are probably at the party, but we don't know how many. That's why we needed a distraction to at least keep more people from coming back here, first off, but hopefully draw a few away if the distraction's good enough.
Very true. And we need to keep an eye out for more magical protections.
Ian wants to look around this place to see what this crew had stored.
Just say Yadu's been hanging out at the door.
I'm waiting for y'all to finish. When you come back out, I look up at you. Would you like the honor?
Sure, I will check for traps.
Hey.
Hey.
It's not locked. It's a push open door for a kitchen.
Good, because I only got a 14.
The trap is a box of it's a
It
box
was
of
a
sugar
pull
cookies.
instead of a push.
You are ooh. Well, that's exciting. Someone spilled some pasta sauce.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's iron rich pasta sauce.
Is that
Yeah.
blood centered
Red wine.
only there, or is there splatter around anywhere else? Because it seems pretty contained.
That's a pretty concise spot, but there's some on the broken bottle behind you. There's a little bit splattered here and there, particularly on the urn in the corner. It's one of those big decorative ones too. It's just as offensive as the books.
Oh, no hideaway.
Oh, it's an urn.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go peek in it for funsies.
Give me a perception roll.
His nose for
Yeah.
loot is second to none.
That would be a 19.
You're like,
That seems oddly placed.
the decorations here in the corner don't really work in the kitchen. And as you peek in, you're like, it looks as though somebody dumped something in here. Ta-da! There's a bag in the bottom of the urn, just sitting there. Leather bag, regular leather bag.
Let's pick it up.
You are a fucking loot bloodhound. I swear to the god.
Jingle, 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 jangle.
Oh, so it's a mimic.
Oh my god.
Not today. However, you have a bag. It sounds like it's got money in it.
Let's peek in it. Let's be sure.
It does indeed have money in it. Gold money and lots of it. And a rolled up piece of paper.
The bank will hold on to the money for the time being.
Maybe.
We appreciate your
Althea's gonna look at the rolled up piece of paper.
we appreciate your deposit into the bank of keeping us alive.
So you look at the paper. As you unroll it, you see that this seems to be notes, brief notes associated with the map.
Please excuse me just one moment.
Brief notes like timing or
So as you're looking them over, you're like, huh.
Sorry
So
about that.
The word that he said is
Plot
written,
two.
is written there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a note that says cultists can be turned. Ritual space below, but also top floor. And this is all like terrible handwriting. You're like holding it up, kind of deciphering it, kind of like, oh, this is
it's like doctor's handwriting.
only not that educated.
Hooked on phonics, doctor writing. Got it.
Got it.
Oh, surgeon. They don't get them because they're smart. They get them because they're dexterous.
Any hands.
Clearly not by the handwriting, but
Mhm.
okay, so
You also get 150 coin in there. 150 gold pieces.
the bank of keeping us alive would appreciate your deposits.
Yeah.
Listen, them diamonds don't come cheap.
especially when you spend it on and let our
Listen,
enemies
Listen,
go.
that was a one-off. I didn't even know I could do it at that point.
I
Never
believe
gonna
you've
let
been
that
telling me
go.
for a long time here that I needed a 300 gold piece diamond and in one piece. Those were the rules.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You have to have a 300 gold piece worth of diamond and you have to stay in one piece. Those were
Correct.
the rules.
That is correct. You need to have a 300 gold diamond and need to stay in one piece. Consider it an investment in your future.
Or someone
Alright.
else's future, as the case was.
Well, they died anyways. So you know what?
No,
Yeah,
they
so it was a
didn't. They
bad
escaped.
investment.
Yep, it was a bad. Well, it was good because we got some information. Bad because they decided to fuck off and melt at stone, which no one anticipated. As Iadu has decidedly fucked off in this conversation.
Yes, I've decided you two are officially having your lover's quarrel, so I'm going to leave you alone. So now that they're discussing diamond dust, what do I see down here?
It's a door that's closed off with a little latch.
Is it a closet?
I'll unlatch it.
Ta-da!
Nothing underneath the stairs? Oh, okay.
You found the crapper.
Roll that search. Roll that investigation check there, Iadu.
Oh, I got better than that. I hold up one finger. I'll be back.
Oh.
After the appropriate amount of time.
It's been a long evening. I need a little moment.
Nobody go in there.
Now, when you said the stairs were
have been-
blocked off.
Yes,
Walled off.
it's been walled off.
So I'm looking
Oh.
good.
This goes
That's
up
how
to
they-
the. This
That's
goes
how
up
they
to
took the house and made it 2 houses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Is
Okay.
there any like secret hideaways underneath the stairs since that's empty space right now?
You're
No.
a warlock, Thea Potter.
All right.
No.
I'm following.
All right. We're absolutely once we're done with this, we're totally gonna tell the guards about the corpse in our Airbnb, right? Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. That's not our problem. That sounds like not our problem. Are we ready to leave and go on our dubious decisions at best?
I don't think we have time. I think we just had several days worth of work handed to us on a piece of paper. Let's go use it.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna flip back to the party.
Oh, get the playlist back up.
Hell yeah.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Oh no, we've got better going on. I'm currently listening to Medieval Gimme 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 by ABBA.
Nice.
We've got some we've got a bardcore playlist going on in the
Yeah,
background.
we're serious. We've been sending bardcore memes back and forth while you guys been at the party.
So you've been at this party for a while. I don't remember, and I don't know if you all remember, was there some kind of timing or signal or something that was going to get you to...
We have the sending stones.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
To which they would receive the message. We've checked the house. It was a bit messy. We've got the information and are carrying on. No issues as of yet.
Oh, now what is this one?
All I know is that I joined the sudden crowd because I wouldn't want to stand out.
It's
I
one-eyed
stand out
Jim.
anyway, but
Okay. As you stroll over, this guy looks as though he well, first of all, he came out of the door to the top of the room there.
Yeah.
Which nobody else has been going in or out of. Give me Elsbeth, give me a perception roll for this guy.
all right.
Is that for recognition or
We'll see.
just general?
Ah, 8.
You see this guy and you're like, wow. He is clearly stoned as a gravel road.
Oh.
This guy is just like
Listen, don't hate. Some of us need a little help to get into parties.
He's a little lit, is what you're saying.
He doesn't
he
like
was-
to pass
If
it.
he was any more lit, he'd be a forest fire. So, like,
Yeah.
Cloud like an Iowa cornfield.
Ooh.
he does have a staff that he sort of becomes the balance point for him. Wearing a number of rings, a lot of jewelry. He does have the weird black streak in his hair, and 2 different color eyes. And as he strolls up, the lady that you had seen come out with the hostess basically looks over and kind of quirks an eyebrow and says, "Ah, there you are, Master Omyali," which rings a bell for you. That is the tea leaves one, Mystic Chalice.
Ah,
That's this guy.
we gotta love an instructor and a rep who actually reps their brand.
He does have, like I said, he does have a lot of jewelry. He does have a let me just make a quick note. He does have a bunch of stuff on him that you would take to be focuses, but you're like, what the hell's a focus and what the hell is like random like love beads crap? You've got no idea what
either this guy's insane or he's really clever.
and you can't tell which.
Yep, and that makes it beautiful.
He just sort of has this half a moment where he's like, what an amazing party. Thank you so much for inviting me. I think I need to go. And he kind of basically starts to stagger around the little crowd. And that's when the lady who's essentially in charge of the party comes around and pulls him aside from the crowd to have a whispered conversation. While they're being pulled aside, this lady essentially walks up on you.
Yep.
My dear, I am Master Talise of the Eternal Garden, and I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting you.
No, I forgot to say I'm new in the area. Elsbeth Inosa.
Ah, wonderful. Such a pleasure to meet you. Are you in town for Challenge Day tomorrow?
I was sincerely hoping I'd get a chance to see it. Maybe even participate? Depends on how it goes, I guess.
Ah, well, there is a time when those who would let's call them walk-ons, those who have not already secured their space in the proceedings, it would be a bit later in the day. I think it would be wonderful to see how others would fare in our system.
I admit I'm very curious.
Wonderful to meet you. Thank you ever so much. And she basically floats back off to the other room, which draws at least one of the other people with her.
Yeah.
Question,
And,
Eric.
and some other random party people are just like, they're all over you immediately, like, oh, you had her ear, blah, 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 blah. They give you all sorts of advice about various aspects of selection day for challenges and things like that. Basically, what you glean out of the rest of that conversation is there's a series of students who get set up early who are clearly going to be accepted, either financially or talent wise. It's all for show. This is basically the big dog and pony show for, hey, look at our mystic magic schools,
Yeah.
And then after all of that portion, then it's essentially like open tryouts kind of a thing, where they let people who may or may not want to study, or people who they're like, oh, well, who do you think you'd like to get in with, et cetera, et cetera. But it usually draws a crowd. There's actually a seating area. There's, finger sandwiches, tea party, that kind of vibe out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Home fingers.
Which, for your money, is not particularly. You're like, I thought this was about wizarding.
Yeah.
And it 100% does not sound like wizarding to you. It sounds like, here's a big show.
Well, see, now part of me wants to show up and see if it's as drivelly as it sounds, and possibly object.
You do see, as you're having this conversation, that the hostess lady heads back in here, and dude essentially staggers past and wanders out, headed for the door. Meanwhile, mean girls are all making their way back through. She gives him a wide berth and basically comes back in here to your little cliquey of people.
What was the guy who's 3 sheets in the wind? What was his name?
Omyali. Omyali.
Omiali. Yeah. Could he be the distraction we're looking for?
Well, before he got too far, I was hoping to catch him for a moment, actually.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to push through the mean girl crowd to get there?
Politely.
I'm going to kind of inadvertently walk through the mean girl crowd to kind of give her space to move through.
Awesome.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
That was a totally slick maneuver, and the one in green is basically like, you should find someplace else to stand. But
what I just did.
You're completely the distraction that Elsbeth needed to cut through. You catch up to him.
Yeah. The correct title would have been Master Omiali. I don't remember if it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Master Omiali, right?
He kind of gives you one bleary eye. And he's like, indeed. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Elsbeth and Osa, I don't want to take too much of your time. I just had a question.
Oh, good. Do share with me all of the depths of the needs of your knowledge.
I was curious what your school's focus was. I was actively considering going to challenge day.
You need to do more homework. And with that, he walks away.
All right, I accept that.
Because of Dundon's little maneuver, however, Mean Girl number 2 wanders back over and says, he's right, you really need to have an idea of what's going on before you try to step up there and show off anything about magic. And as she says that, you see she like does this weird hand wavy thing and her dress changes color. Straight up cantrip.
Yeah.
Like you're like, really?
Cute. Just basically, does she have like a piece of like hanging jewelry or something?
I mean earrings kind of dangle.
Yeah, just tap it and it lights up like a torch.
Nice.
Because I have the light cantrip. It's
She gets all offended and dashes back in here to her little crowd of people who immediately gather around. Are you going to continue to try to gather information or any sort of things from this party, or when the call comes through, are you going to try to basically sneak out, or not sneak, basically, or say, I think I've had enough of this. Well, I see Dundon hanging out in the corner.
Question.
Yes.
These are house goblins?
Well, they're servants. They're
Right.
not necessarily goblins. That's just the token I use for them.
Okay.
They're the serving staff.
But they're human.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Are they hired or are they
on retainer.
are they actually the family's servants?
You don't really know.
Okay.
You can't really tell. They're wearing the house colors.
Ah, okay.
But give me a perception check.
Where the hell are my dice? Perception. That's a +1. That's a 16.
You'd be willing to bet this is like catering staff. You're like, yeah, that's the colors of the house, but that uniform doesn't look like it fits particularly well.
Yeah.
It's a one size fits most.
Exactly.
I'm going to ask the servant if if someone wanted to sneak outside for a quick one. What would be the most discreet way to do it to not drag the guards into a tizzy?
You are clearly not from around here. Walk out the door. Don't be sneaky. That's it. That's the subtlety of it. They're rich.
They don't care.
They do what they please.
Oh, well, thanks.
You're welcome. And essentially, whoop,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
cruises immediately back to this other one. As you get with most event staff. They all know each other. They're all having conversations.
All right.
I'm torn about what I want to do. Because on the one hand, Team Sneak could theoretically use help.
Keep people the fuck away from us.
Yeah.
So give me a
but I
Give me
also
an-
want to learn more because I want to get into the history because I'm interested in the Spire Society because I
You
know
also
there's
can
five.
also ask us because sending gives you an option to respond.
True. Dundon has the rock, but yeah.
Give me another investigate.
Investigation.
Or yeah, I presume that's as good as gather information. Whatever. You're basically trying to get information from these people.
No. That's a 7.
You are getting the real sense that you are not on the in part of this society yet. Like you totally get it, you totally know it, you've seen it at work. This is them, this is not you. Right?
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot of polite but walled off conversation. Like you're here, you're an attraction for whatever gossip that's going to generate,
Oh, I'm sure it will.
but you're not cracking this nut. You're not getting in. The closest you get is the Mean Girls.
Can I listen in on the staff further to see if there's any other areas of the house that would, or areas of this building where there would be others gathering?
Essentially, what you get is there's the room where the dude that was high as a kite staggered out of,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the room where they're prepping food and drinks to keep continually bringing out here, and that's really it. There's no upstairs, there's no downstairs. This is it. This is an entire house
All right,
built specifically to just host these kind of parties.
gotcha.
And they're filthy rich enough to just own a house in the richest part of town that does nothing but host parties.
Trying to think of how to crack this nut as to use the same imagery.
So you seem to have caused quite a stir with lighting up her earring. And the master of the Eternal Garden comes out, and you can see, and I'm trying to think, it's your spell, but it's a cantrip. I'm trying to remember the rule. Let me find it. Let me see what she does.
I mean, I could just end the light.
You could, but they're all in a tizzy over it. It seems to be causing quite a stir that you just dropped a light spell on her ear.
Are you looking for a dispel or?
Yeah.
Yeah, dispel metric's a 3rd level. That just it will just kill a cantrip.
Okay. So yeah, so she basically, that's what I was just checking to make sure that the comparable spell level kind of thing.
Oh yeah, dispel. If it's higher than 3rd on a dispel, there's a check. But
she comes out, basically puts her hands up, calm, 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 mumble, 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 puts your light out.
Yeah.
But that after a little more conversation, she does wander back out to you. Perhaps we could bump you up the list tomorrow if you are interested. That was particularly amusing to set that on her, because no harm, but definitely distracting.
I figured one joke deserved another.
Give me what's the one, the intuition of other people thing.
Insight.
There you go. Insight. Couldn't come up with the word. Getting tired. Give me an insight roll.
18.
You definitely see like she wants to say something, and then she kind of glances over her shoulder like she's looking back through the door, and you can see Flavia is like laser beams straight out. She's like, well, if nothing else, competition for a spot tomorrow could be entertaining. Thank you, my dear. I'm going to go say goodbye to our host. And wanders back in here. Now Flavia's staring daggers at you.
I'm gonna lean over and whisper to Dundon, how much you want to bet she comes at me?
Yeah, she may, but you know, she can't do much as the host's daughter.
She might think she can, though. I think we might find something interesting happening.
Possibly.
Make her Rudolph.
You have socially stirred the pot.
Yep. I have a feeling we might be getting people looking our way and not leaving.
Okay.
Distraction.
So you're there, and I think that is a reasonable spot for everybody because we've run a little bit long tonight. So if you're all good, we can stop there.
I'm perfectly
Hardcore,
fine.
baby.